Hello and welcome to your first episode of Safe Bites. My name is Sergio and I'm going to be talking to you about our first topic of the day, food fraud. So what exactly is food fraud? Let's say, for example, you buy a box of Fruity Pebbles, those same Fruity Pebbles that you love buying at your local supermarket, and you open the bag and you find out that those Fruity Pebbles are a little bit different than usual. And upon closer inspection, you start noticing that the cereal flakes actually look a little bit different. You remember the good old days when your mom would buy you the knockoff brand that you would buy maybe at Aldi or whatever, whichever supermarket chain, and you notice that those flakes actually belong to the knockoff version of Fruity Pebbles, whichever generic names. They're selling you that lower grade cereal as Fruity Pebbles because the prime material is actually cheaper, okay, and they're boxing it in the same packaging as your Fruity Pebbles. That's a clear-cut example of food fraud. Food fraud is when the food is deliberately tampered or misrepresented, and it could happen at any point of the supply chain, from raw material to final packaging. And some common examples of food fraud are adulteration, substitution, dilution, mislabeling, counterfeiting, and concealment. Now, what are the economic and health impacts? It is estimated a global cost of $10 to $50 billion a year. Food fraud can also lead to serious health issues such as allergies or toxic exposures, such as chemical, biological, or physical hazards. And in certain worst case scenarios, food fraud can go undetected because it's meant to be undetected, because it's perfectly disguised as the real product. And now let's talk about two recent cases of food fraud. Let's talk about Lenny and Larry's The Complete Cookie. Back in 2018, Lenny and Larry's, the company behind the popular Complete Cookie, faced a lawsuit over allegations that they misrepresented the nutritional content of their products. The cookie that was sold to you, according to the label, contained 16 grams of protein, actually contained a ballpark between 4 to 9 grams of protein. And to dig deeper, the nutritional facts allegedly violated FDA code because they utilized the wrong testing method. So instead of utilizing a wholesome protein analysis, they only tested for nitrogen content of every sample in order for them to fluff the nutritional content. In other words, they were supposed to be using a process called PDCAS, which actually accounts for amino acid quality for the sample, which is far more accurate and reliable than just testing for nitrogen content. So what exactly do you do to detect food fraud? You do something called approximate analysis. And in approximate analysis, what you do is you take your food sample and you analyze it for the following parameters: moisture, ash, protein, fat, and carbohydrates. So what the consumers did was they did their own proximate analysis of their Lenny and Larry cookies, and they found out that they were getting shortchanged. So the case was settled off court for $5 million. That's almost $2 million worth of cash payments and over $3 million worth of free products. And believe it or not, if you save your receipts from 2018, you're actually eligible for $20 to $50 in cash payments. And the second case we're going to be talking about is G Butter. In 2019, G Butter were sued over allegations of false advertising and mislabeling of their nut-based spreads, which were marketed as high protein and low calorie. So let's break it down. The calorie content was in reality 220 per serving, fat content between 17 to 21 grams per serving. Protein was only 2 to 5 grams when each sample was promised over 10 to 14 grams. And sugar content was actually 5 grams versus 1 gram as stated on the label. And clearly and evidently, these discrepancies violated FDA labeling regulations that only allow a 20% margin of error. And let's talk about the product claims. G Butter was promoted as this guilt-free, health-conscious spread for fitness enthusiasts, including myself. And I remember when I bought my first jar, it was actually $20 a pop. I was confident that I was making a good purchase for my fitness goals. And there were many popular flavors like birthday cake, brownie batter, and cookie dough. And what really triggers me is the fact that this product was actually marketed for healthy lifestyle individuals. To make matters even worse, the protein content was actually the health claim that was promoted on this product, when in reality the protein content did not exceed 5 grams, when each serving said that it was supposed to be anywhere between 10 to 14 grams per serving. The lawsuit was voluntarily dismissed on April 13, 2021 with no public settlement or admission of wrongdoing. However, G Butter products are nowhere to be found, and the company has not posted on social media for a long time. So let's unpack that. Food fraud is when you take lower grade ingredients and you make a product and you sell it as a high grade, high quality finished product. You're lying to your consumers about nutritional content and any other product benefits you can get from. And in reality, you're just selling snake oil to your customers. Wait a second. And how can I protect myself as a consumer? The first step is to buy from trusted sources, scrutinize your labels, take your time reading your nutritionals, check for any certifications like USDA Organic, Fair Trade, or Non-GMO Project, and make sure that you know the country of origin for the product. Also, by staying informed and alert and learning about commonly fake foods, such as olive oil, honey, seafood, spices, and last but not least, dairy and juices. By using consumer tools such as Open Food Facts or Smart Label, and also by following the food safety alerts from the FDA or FSIS. Also by being proactive, by picking up the phone, calling the company, or emailing them. And also by reporting potential cases of food fraud. And if you'd like to learn more about the food industry, make sure you subscribe to our channel and make sure you follow us on Instagram, Food Strata. Thank you guys for watching.